Alright, welcome everybody. Find yourself a seat or some food or some drink or whatever you need. I'm not that fussed. So welcome to this evening's SU Leadership Results Party. As always, a bit of housekeeping. Fire escapes in the unlucky event of a fire. And just by the way, there's no fire drills scheduled for this evening as far as I'm aware. You can either go down sort of the way you came in, or, am I right in saying that there's a fire escape sort of around here?
Fire escape just behind
here. Yeah. Follow those signs with the green guy running through the doors. And there's also fire marshals around, so they will direct you as needed. Toilets, there is an all-gender and accessible toilet on this floor. There is a gender-neutral toilet on the bottom floor, and in between the floors on the staircase there's gendered toilets. So, take your pick. Just in terms of the running order, we're going to go through the candidates in order of University Councillor, Double Time Officer, BME Officer, Disabled Students Officer, Women's Officer, then have a break at 7:30. Access Education and Participation Officers, postgrad and undergrad, and then the President, postgrad and undergrad. So, without any further ado, let's begin. First of all, thanks to everyone for voting and for standing themselves. We had 2,862 individual voters in these elections. Oh yeah, next one I think. Oh, we had 2,862 individual voters in this elections, with 17,221 overall votes cast. So, that is an increase on the overall votes cast of 2,000 since last year, and about 50 to 80 decrease on the number of individual students voting. So, on the whole, a higher turnout with slightly fewer students voting. But a higher turnout in terms of votes. This year, 2,071 voters were undergraduates and 786 voters were postgraduates. The college with the highest turnout, therefore winning the pizza, was Fitzwilliam with 28%. So that is an astounding turnout. Well done to assumedly the Fitzwilliam representatives of JCRs, MCRs for pushing that. Also, and just well done to everybody for campaigning in these elections. You worked, from what I saw at least, incredibly hard. However these results go, you should all be really proud of putting yourselves forward. It's no easy job. Before we move on to the results, I'm going to do a little background on my favourite topic, single transferable vote. Effectively, that means that voters rank the order that they prefer the candidates in. I prefer Careddick to Fergus. I don't. But, maybe I don't. So I rank Careddick first and Fergus second, for instance. The total number of votes cast is divided by the number of places plus one. But in all of these races, there's only one place for everyone, so it's effectively halved. And that gives us the quota. So that quota will tell us if someone's elected. That's why there's sometimes sort of 0.5 votes, fractional votes, because it's being divided by 2. So if it's an odd number, you get how that works. If nobody reaches the quota, the candidate on the bottom with the fewest votes is eliminated, and then their votes are redistributed amongst the remaining candidates in the order that people rank, 1, 2, 3, etc. And if there are no more rankings on someone's ballot, it's discarded and the quota is readjusted accordingly. So hopefully that will make sense. And just a couple of notices that the candidate for Welfare and Communities Officer, Jacob Walsh, withdrew, so this role will go to a by-election. There were no candidates for Families Officer, Mature Students Officer, or Part-Time Officer, so they will also go to a by-election in the future. And without any further ado, hopefully we have graphs and things. Oh yeah, there we are. So that's where we are. So these are your candidates for University Councillor. Alex Mile, and not shown here, is reopen nominations. In the count of first choices, the initial quota was 986.5. In the first round of voting, Alex Mile has 1,770 votes, and Ron has 203 votes. Therefore, Alex Mile has reached the quota and is elected. We'll get Alex, our incoming University Councillor. Moving on. We will not moving. Sorry, Alex, come on. So sorry about that. So the way we're doing this today is
Yes.
we have an award for everyone, which is a succulent.
Wow.
So choose your succulent.
Surely the president should get to choose the best succulent.
No. President gets money. So.
Oh, really?
Well, just the top split.
Yeah. So choose your succulent. Brilliant. And I also have a certificate for you.
Oh, wow.
So congratulations. And
I think the shaking hand is a lot.
okay, well, let's do that. Yeah. I'll hand this over to you.
Yeah.
There we are. So, get one on your own as well.
Oh, yes.
No, that's not here. This is very well rehearsed from me. Right. Fantastic. Okay, moving on then, this time. Yeah. We have the double time officer role. So again, there is one non-Ron candidate, Ruth Shaw, and I can tell you that the initial quota was 908 votes, 0.5. In the first round of voting, Ruth Shaw has 1,676 votes, and Ron has 141. Therefore, Ruth Shaw is elected as our new double-time officer. Thank you very much. Choose your favourite succulent. I have. So it's the top. No, it's fine. So, and this is for you, Ruth. Well done. So, what? Come on, give another round of applause. So well done. Get into the photo. Oh, lovely. I think that's you. Right. Moving on, we have the BME officer. So the candidates for BME officer were Maruf Rafiq and Ron. The initial quota is 229. In the first round of voting, Maruf Rafiq has 317 votes and Ron has 141. Therefore, Maruf Rafiq is elected as our continuing BME officer.
Do you also get a succulent?
Yes, yeah, everyone gets a succulent, other than me apparently. So yeah, pick your favourite succulent.
I think I'm going to go with this one.
Oh yeah. And here's your certificate to prove to the world that you're elected. So well done again. Fantastic. Right, moving on then. We have our disabled students officer. Once again, there was one candidate plus Ron, Chalo Wire, and the initial quota was 194. In the first round of voting, Chalo Wire has 349 votes and Ron has 39. Therefore, Chalo Wire has reached the quota. Sadly, Chalo is not here this evening, so I'm going to steal his succulent. No, I'm going to put his certificate down there.
On his behalf.
I don't feel good enough to do that. Right, next officer, please. We have, I believe, it's the women's officer. We have, again, one candidate, Manjari Gupta plus Ron. The initial quota is 478. In the first round of voting, Manjari Gupta has 751 votes and Ron has 205. Therefore, Manjari Gupta is elected as our new and obviously is also not here this evening. So, once again, I get two succulents now. Right, moving on once again. Oh, no, we're not. We're having a break. Sorry about that. We'll be back in 10 minutes. So, there is a lot of food and drink. Go get it. Go to the loos, etc. See you shortly.
we start the next section of announcements, we're just going to go back quickly to the slide with the turnout numbers, so that it's on record. And you
Just
can
to
play
prove that it did happen.
Yes. So I'm not going to repeat it all again for everyone else in the room, but those were the numbers. Now, to move quickly on to the next position. So, next position is for the Access Education and Participation Officer for postgraduates. The candidates for this role were Cynthia Ugu, Christian Sapida, and Neela Mandala, and of course Ron. The initial quota is 864. In the first round of voting, Cynthia has 287 votes, Christian has 546 votes, and Neela has 775 votes. Ron has 120. Since no one has reached the quota, the candidate with the lowest amount of votes, Ron, is excluded and their votes transferred to the next round. In this round, we found that Cynthia had 290 votes, Christian had 550, and Neela had 782. Again, no one has reached the quota, and so Cynthia is excluded and their votes transferred for the next round. In the final round, we find that Christian had 570 votes and Neela had 827 votes. That means that the next postgraduate Access Education and Participation Officer will be Neela.
Feel free to go up and have a photo of anyone that's helped you in this. Or...
Yeah?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Have a card. You've been requested.
Very well done there. Okay. So, the next role is for the Access Education and Participation Officer for undergraduates. There were 3 candidates for this role: Katie Clark, Sam Easter, and reopen nominations. So the initial quota for this was 1,038 votes. In the first round, Katie had 1,344 votes, Sam had 618 votes, and Ron had 114. That means that Katie Clark has reached the quota.
Very well done.
Do you mind speaking about the
Yeah, Katie, come back. Get a photograph with your predecessor. Very well done. Look how efficient that was. Right. We're down to our final 2 positions. One of them is postgraduate president brackets PG. The candidates were, as shown on here, Smoli Bhattacharjee and Varish Pratap, whose photo for some reason we couldn't find on the website, even though you sent it to us. Sorry about that. Anyway, he's there if you want to see what his face is like. And of course, Ron. You may notice that there were more candidates previously. There was Chad Troyan and Rose Moffat. Both of them have withdrawn their nominations, so they were not on the final ballot. Any votes for these candidates were immediately redistributed to their second preferences. So no one's votes has been lost. The initial quota is 842.5. In the first round of voting, Smoli has 782 votes, Varish Pratap has 685 votes, and Ron has 218. Therefore, no one has reached the quota. Ron is excluded, and their votes transferred, redistributed to the next round. In the next round of voting, Samoli Bhattacharjee has 801 votes, and Varish Pratap has 696. Therefore, Samoli Bhattacharjee has reached the threshold and is therefore elected. Get a photo and take one by yourself, and you can have one with I'll take your hand, yeah. Congratulations. There we are. Very well done. Good picture. I have to thank the whole work saying, and don't forget, you can have a succulent if you would like. Thank you. Very well done. Right, on to our final race. My job is almost done. This is the undergraduate president. There were, as you can see, 3 candidates plus reopened nominations. They were Hamad Chowdhury, Sarah Anderson, and Sam Hutton. The initial quota is 1,269.5. In the first round of voting, Hamad Chowdhury has 114 votes. Ron has 114 votes. Sam Hutton has 911 votes, and Sarah Anderson has 1,400 votes. Therefore, Sarah Anderson is elected as the next going to come up for a photo. Sorry. As your predecessor. What are you doing? Nobody else. I'm fine.
I started an tradition.
High five hand over there. Grab yourself something and you can say a few words or you can.
As there are 50 people in the room, I will just say a massive thank you to everyone from my own college who came out in force to back me. It's the most lovely feeling to know that you're supported by the community around you. And I hope that it shows that JCRs are meaningful forces of change in this university, and hopefully with the right kind of leadership, the ASU can be as well.
Right. I feel like there's been some relief. Well, there was some, yeah. Anyway, I guess the only really last thing I have to say is thank you to everybody for voting, who did vote, and everybody to put themselves forward, because, as I said before, it's no easy thing, it's quite a brave thing to do, so very well done to everybody who did that. The newly elected officers will take their roles in July, taking over from the previous sabbatical officer team. They'll have a handover period and where they can sort of exchange knowledge, and then they'll be in the role for another year. As mentioned before, there will be by-elections for the full-time sabbatical role of Welfare and Communities Officer, as there was no candidate, and for the part-time executive committee roles of part-time officer, families officer, and mature students officer. So, yeah, finally, just thank you for everyone for coming, thanks to everyone who voted, thanks to everyone who put themselves forward, and thank you to the current SABs and the staff team for making this all happen. So, thank you very much.